Good morning and welcome to the video. If you are new here on this channel, my name is Frederick. I'm 36 years old. I live here in Copenhagen and I just quit my full-time job as a sales manager to become a full-time content creator, which means that making videos like the one I'm making right now is the work that I do. And for those of you who are not new to the channel, you can maybe see that I'm in new surroundings. This is not the apartment that I usually film from. And that is because two of my very best friends, Joachim and Victoria, they bought a new apartment here in Copenhagen and they renovated the whole apartment, and then they made the top floor, the floor that I'm in right now with this beautiful rooftop terrace, they made that into an Airbnb unit. And because I have a lot of experience renting out Airbnbs in Copenhagen, they invited me over to sleep in the new unit and just test it out and give them my honest feedback before they start to welcome guests. And as you can probably see, I have been enjoying myself a lot this morning. It's a very beautiful space. It's a very unique Airbnb in Copenhagen, I would say. I don't know if it's possible to find something similar to this. So I can highly recommend staying here if you are visiting Copenhagen in the future. And I will put a link to the Airbnb listing down below. And if you tell Joachim and Victoria that you saw the listing on this video, I think they will be able to give you a small discount or something like that. Okay, so that was a crazy nice breakfast. It's one of my favorite places to get breakfast in Copenhagen. It's a place called Ø12, and their pancakes are just absolutely incredible. And I will say that I don't usually eat like pancakes for breakfast like that and go to a fancy cafe, but I thought it would be nice to show you one of my favorite cafes, and also because I'm doing this VO2 max capacity run test later today, I thought it would be a good idea to carb up so that I have a lot of energy to push myself later on. But now I will enjoy myself a little bit in King's Garden. I will sit down and write a little bit in a journal. I ask Grok every morning to come up with a really good journaling prompt that I can journal from. And today the journaling prompt was: if my life was a book, what would this chapter be about? And what would be the lessons that I could take from this chapter? And what would be the next chapter in this life or in this book? Okay, now we are driving out of Copenhagen. We are going, normally I would take my bike to go here, but I want to have fresh legs for the capacity run. It's only like 10-15 minutes in a car, and it would take me 25 to 30 minutes on my bike to get there. But I want to have fresh legs and really do my best at this test. And that also means that once we are done with the test, we can take the car and we can go a little bit further out of Copenhagen. I want to jump in the ocean, and I also want to get a healthy and delicious lunch from one of my absolute favorite places on earth. One that you maybe already know if you're watching this channel, and if you don't already know it, stay tuned, because I think you will also enjoy seeing this place. But for now, I'm driving 10 more minutes and then we'll do the test. Now I'm getting ready to do the test, and I quickly want to mention that everything that I'm wearing is from a Swiss brand called On, and they have very kindly sponsored all of these things that I'm wearing as part of our affiliate collaboration. So that means that I have a link down below that you can check out if you're curious about the products. And if you buy anything via this link, I will be earning a small commission from that, and you will be supporting me and my channel, and I will be forever grateful to you. And with that said, the test that I'm doing here today is it's a VO2 max test, which means that I will be testing out how much oxygen I can absorb while working out very intensely. I think that is the correct way to describe it. And that will tell me something about my cardiovascular fitness levels and also my endurance overall. And I will use this information to determine how fast I can run when I'm going to do the Copenhagen half marathon in September. So that means that the next 10 weeks of training will be planned according to the result I get from this test today.
Keep pushing here, keep pushing. 10 seconds. Alright, cool. You can jump on the sides. You can use these, yeah, exactly.
Oh.
So cool.
That was okay.
Super. So not maximal, but you're getting up there.
Yeah, I still had maybe one or two, I think. But then that would have been fucked. I would have been lying down, but this was fine.
Yeah, good. We all the data we need, so it's very good.
Good. Yeah. Okay, so I just finished up the test, and it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. It wasn't like a max out test. It was just run fast for 14 minutes, and then we will measure your data. And the last minute I did was pace 3:52. I don't know if that means anything to you. And then he just told me to stop because he had all the data that he needed. And I didn't get my results yet. I will get them in an email in a couple of days' time. And then while I'm sitting here, I don't know if you can see in the background, but it's a very nice place to be sitting right now. It's Tuesday, it's 12 o'clock, and it's exactly 2 weeks ago since I quit my 9 to 5. So that means that 2 weeks ago I was sitting in an office, and now I'm sitting here. I just jumped in the ocean after the run. I bought myself a cold Coke Zero, and then after this I will probably go for another swim, buy myself a nice lunch, go for a nice walk in nature, and just enjoy life. And I don't know about you, but I definitely feel like sitting here right now on a Tuesday beats sitting inside an office working a 9 to 5. And yeah, my plan is to grow this YouTube channel to make it profitable so that I never have to work another job again. And if you're watching this video right now, you're supporting me on that journey. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate it a lot. Okay, lunch is done and it was absolutely amazing. If you are ever in Copenhagen, I can highly recommend that you check out Summer Canteen. I will put a link in the description down below so you can find it. It is definitely worth the trip. And once you are at Summer Canteen, I can highly recommend that you go to Dyrehaven or maybe take a swim in the ocean or something like that. It's just absolutely incredible. And at Summer Canteen, I met one of my very good friends that I haven't seen in a long while, and it was great to catch up with him and talk with him and just, eat lunch together with a friend, basically. That beats eating lunch with your colleagues at work, that is for sure. And now, as I said, I'm walking out in nature, just digesting the food and just enjoying myself. No music, no podcast, no nothing. I'm just going for a walk, thinking my own thoughts, which is something that I have been doing a lot lately and that I really enjoy doing. And one thing that I wanted to talk to you about is a book that I'm reading right now that I think is very interesting, and I can highly recommend that you read it as well. It's called Psycho-Cybernetics or something like that. And basically it's about this, it's a self-help book from the 60s written by this plastic surgeon who did a lot of surgeries on people who were unhappy with the way they looked. And what he noticed was that some of the people, when they got their looks fixed with plastic surgery, their life would still be very they would still be very unhappy and miserable, and it was like the plastic surgery did no difference at all to their mental health and stuff like that. So what he discovered is that one of the most important factors when it comes to your life and your mental health and setting goals and achieving goals is the self-image that you have. Like, what do you think about yourself and your future and your goals and your dreams? And do you see yourself as a failure, or do you see yourself as someone who can actually succeed? And if you think positive thoughts about yourself, if you imagine yourself being successful in the future, and if you can actually see yourself achieving your goals and your dreams, it is much more likely that you will actually do so. Because what he says is that your life is a result of your self-image. So the way that your subconscious mind sees yourself is the way you will end up in life. And you can actually change the way you see yourself by visualizing yourself achieving your goals and fulfilling your dreams and having all the things that you want to have. So that is something that I will try to experiment with now with this YouTube channel. I will try to see myself as a very successful creator and do all the things necessary to become that. And it is actually something that I don't have this thing where I see myself as a failure or where I question myself and my own abilities. I am actually a very positive person, and I can clearly see myself having success doing this. But it's just nice to have some exercises that I can do on a daily basis now when I have the time to do it, and it's just very interesting to hear the science behind it all. So I can highly recommend the book. It's called Psycho-Cybernetics or something like that. Check it out.
Det er voksen. Det er voksen. Det er da vigtigt, at jeg ikke lader det voksen.
Perfekt, tak.